All right, this is day 3 about posting every day about AI. And last video, we talked about RAG and why it's important. Today, we're going to take a step further and actually walk through how to automate a full RAG workflow and a chatbot. So basically, from uploading your documents in real time, you'll have a chatbot to answer all your questions based on that document. So first, we're going to search up a Google Drive node and say on changes involving a specific folder. We're going to create our credential. First, we're going to get our client ID and client secret. To do that, we need to go to our Google Cloud console and name our first project. Basically, we're going to search up APIs and services and then enable APIs and services. We're going to search up Google Drive and then we're going to enable this Google Drive API. Next, we're going to go to our OAuth consent screen. So we don't have one yet, so we're going to click Get Started. I'm going to put the app name. So we're going to add a support email. And right now I'm on an internal email. So this is a workspace email. And as you can see here, this is for Google Workspace users. If you're using a regular Gmail, you're going to click external, but I'm going to click internal. Then we're going to click next. So I'm just going to put in for contact information, I'm just going to put in my same email that I'm using here. We're going to click next, agree, and finish and create. So we're not done yet. We're going to click on audience next. I'm going to click make external so we can go into testing and confirm. And you can publish this app, but I'm just going to keep it in testing. Since we're keeping it in test mode, we're going to add a user. Make sure this email is the same email of the Google Drive. Great. Now we should go to clients on the left, create a new client. We're going to click on web app. Name this client RAG demo. We need to authorize redirect URI, and we have one right here, so we're going to copy and paste this in here. Great. Now that I created that, we have our client ID and secret. I'm going to copy each one and paste it into its corresponding area. Now let's sign in with Google. So now that we're connected, if we click on this node and we open it, we look in our folder and we should be able to see all the folders existing in our Google Drive. And for this email, I only have one folder open, which is the RAG demo. So this matches up correctly. I'm just going to add my folder that I want this node to be tracking. So once you've added your corresponding folder, we're going to watch for a file created. So every time you upload or create a file that's in the folder, this automation will be triggered. For a test, I'm just going to use Apple's privacy policy. I'm going to download it and upload it to my RAG demo. As you can see, my file is uploaded. If we check our NAN workflow and we do fetch test event, let's just check this is the right file. There should be a table that says the name of the file. Great. As you can see, the name of the file that we just uploaded is Apple privacy policy. And that is correct because we just uploaded Apple's privacy policy here. Also, just a disclaimer, for this automation to be fully automatic, this automation must be active at all times. Now that we have our Google Drive trigger, we need to download the contents of the file. And so we're going to click the download file Google Drive node. We can select a list of different files, but if we do that, it's going to be the same file over and over again. And in order to make it fully automatic and dynamic to a new upload, we're going to go to this left side area, click by ID. We're going to go to this Google Drive trigger. We're going to click and drag and drop the ID of the most recent file upload. It should come up as JSON.id. And so when we execute step, this is the data that we're able to download from the Google Drive that we just uploaded. All right, next we're going to go into Pinecone. If you don't know what Pinecone is, it's a vector database. And I suggest you watch my last video if you don't know what I'm talking about right now. But basically, we're just going to create a new index. I'm going to name it RAG demo. And I'm just going to do OpenAI's text embedding configuration. All right, so now I'm just going to create index. I'm just going to do Virginia, AWS, and serverless. And so now this should look like yours where you have no namespaces or data in your database. And so in order to configure it, we're going to go to our API keys and create an API key. So after you create your API key, just click create, copy that API key, and we're going to go back to NAN. After that, we're going to create a new node after the download file, and we're going to search Pinecone and add documents to vector store. We're going to set up our new credential that we just created, paste this API key, and save. And so just to confirm that we're connected, these are my two indexes, and we just made RAG demo, so I'm going to click RAG demo. And so we're going to go to add options, and we're going to make sure we're adding it to a Pinecone namespace. And as you can see, you can actually name this namespace just so we can keep it organized. I'm just going to put privacy policy. If you don't name it, it's just going to come up in Pinecone as default. So next thing we're going to want to do is add an embeddings model. I'm going to click embeddings model, embeddings OpenAI, and just use the same one as my initial configuration as the text embedding small. And so next we're going to want to add a document. We're just going to do default data loader. This is basically where we tell Pinecone what type of data we're uploading. It's really easy to tell because it says binary right here. And if we were to click JSON, it'd just be a bunch of gibberish. So we're just going to click binary and click this to binary. The next thing we got to do is add a text splitter. Basically, this splits the huge document into chunks. There's three options. I'm going to click recursive text splitter, and this lets us keep the information of the whole document as a whole, even though we are splitting it up. Now that I clicked executing workflow, it's going through this whole thing. If we go to our text splitter right here, we have a bunch of different responses, all ranging from 1,000 characters each. I didn't expect the Apple privacy document to be so long and comprehensive, but that's probably why it's taking a while. I'm actually super glad I caught this because I bet some of you guys might encounter the same problem. It actually failed because our vector dimension does not match the index. If we go to my RAG demo index, it says the dimension is 512, and basically we need a 1536 dimension, and you can't change it until you create a new index. So what I'm going to do is when I create my new index, I'm going to make sure this dimension is 1536. So keep an eye out for that. And then I'm just going to go and connect all the API keys again, and I'll come back. Okay, now I executed the step with my RAG demo 2, and it worked really well. And if we go to our recursive text splitter, we see it chunked into a bunch of different responses. And our Pinecone has all the items. Also to check, we go to our RAG demo 2, and the namespace is created with 30 records. Okay, so just like that, you created your RAG pipeline. And another step I would like to add is to make a chatbot so you can find and chat with the agent to find data about the document. So now we're going to create a new node. We're going to do a chat trigger. So we have one right here, and we're going to add an AI agent. Here we go. We're going to add our chat model, and then we're going to add our OpenAI chat model. Now we're also going to add a Pinecone vector store as a tool so our AI agent can use our database to search and ask and answer our questions. All right, so now that we added our Pinecone vector store as our tool, again, we're adding our embeddings model from OpenAI, and we're going to add a description and tell our agent to call on this tool for anything about privacy policy, since that's mainly what we uploaded. And as you can see, same index, RAG demo 2. We're now at our Pinecone namespace, and it's very important to add our Pinecone namespace because if you don't give it the right namespace, it won't know where to find the information. So our Pinecone namespace was privacy policy. Okay, so now we can chat with it. And right now I'm just going to go back to our Google Drive and see what we can chat about. I'm going to read something up real quick. Okay, so I'm just going to ask, how does Apple use my personal data? And there we go. So basically I just asked it, how does Apple use my personal data right here in our chat log? And as a chat input, we see how does Apple use my personal data, and the input goes to our AI agent, which uses our vector database to give us information about how Apple uses our personal data. Just like that, we've made a whole RAG pipeline and an AI chatbot, and this is super simple, and the possibilities are limitless. Document to be so long and comprehensive, but that's probably why it's taking a while.